For the missing deputy, could you talk a little bit about his situation?
Sure. Yeah, he lives up on one of the roads in Del Rio, and they'd lost contact with him. He was at home in his residence, and we was unable to make any kind of contact with him through the telephone or anything like that. They had our support up there yesterday evening, also trying to make contact. But today our support was able to make contact, and he's up there trying to make other rescues today. But he's completely fine. His family's fine, and we made contact, so he's good.
Hey, CJ, earlier today you talked there were 50 rescues. You said, are we still at that number? Do you have a number of how many rescues are taking place?
I don't have the exact number, but it's definitely well over 50.
Over 50?
Yeah, definitely well over 50, probably more closer to the 100 mark, if not more. There's definitely been a lot of rescue take place, you know, like you said, whether it was by side, whether it was by air or on foot or in boats. A lot of rescue attempts have been made, and a lot of success in that apprehension. Like the mayor had said, that it does take time to get to these individuals that seek out looking for help. You know, we've got roads that are missing, we've got debris in the road, so we've got to take our time and remove debris. Make sure there's a road in place before we get there. If not, we'll get a boat, but it does take time. Obviously, the water is moving so fast at that point in time. You know that water and boats, that doesn't stop a boat from going down because of water. It's, you know, they may be designed for that, but they're also dangerous to be in that kind of water. It's very swift.
You also mentioned you lost some rescue vehicles in this whole process.
Yeah, there's been emergency responder vehicles lost. We've lost law enforcement vehicles, I think the fire department, and I think one of the out-of-county rescue squads may have lost a vehicle, so we have that. Touch base on that, we've had other agencies throughout the state, sheriff's departments reached out. They're on their way now, bringing us 4 or 5 cruisers to replace what we've got that can't run at this time. And that we'll be able to put those on patrol as quick as possible. I don't know what name will be on it yet, but it'll have lights and emergency equipment on it, so that way you can kind of tell it is law enforcement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dave, to follow up with that, with the rescues, again, I don't want to put a number on the rescues, but it's way up there. Every single, we had a board of rescues, and whenever we'd whop one off, it was just it was a victory for us, victory for the whole team. And every single one of those names and addresses where the people were located, we were able to rescue each and every one of those folks. We didn't lose any of those people who had come to our attention that needed a rescue that we identified. We were able to get to every one of those folks. Some of them took a long time, but we got to all of them. We didn't lose any of them. Any other questions?
You mentioned the Newport Community Center.
Yes.
What's the capacity there, and is there any other places that people can go to?
Which one would like?
Well, I wouldn't mention that. As far as capacity, I couldn't give you a definite number. We had about 30 last night. We can handle that comfortably. Probably 100 we can handle, and then possibly even more than that. It's been a long time since we had the shelter, opened it up as a shelter, and we've never maxed it out. So far we've been able to handle everybody, and I think we'll still be able to do that. There's a Liberty Church on Cosby, opened up yesterday as a shelter also. Now, it's not a very large church, but it would probably accommodate a lot of the people up in that area in Cosby. As mentioned earlier by Mr. Esway, Parrotsville School also opened yesterday when the town got cut off from the north side. They opened it, and it's my understanding it's still open. Normally we use a lot of the volunteer fire departments, but they've all had to be out doing rescues, and I don't know if any of them are along the river in the flood zones. I really don't know exactly where they're all located. I know in Del Rio there's a creek just right across from it up there. I don't know if it got out of whack, but I think we're in good shape as far as that right now. As I said, we're still trying to get people out. We think, we're getting close to having that resolved. We are in the city, and they mentioned vehicles. We lost 4 vehicles in the city. All those were at City Hall, and the police department and the river, because the police department is on the river, and so we're accustomed during rain events for the water to get up in behind the police station. So when the weather turned bad and the water started rising, we moved all our vehicles to higher ground from the police station. So we didn't lose any. And just a side note, we spotted the lost fire truck this morning. It's in a field up off the Edwina Road. And amazingly, it appears to be undamaged. But now I'm sure that the motor and stuff had it. But just looking at it out in that field as it went by, it just looked like somebody parked the car. So if it didn't get banged up any coming down the river, that's a miracle too. So, but thanks for your question.
Do y'all have a number or estimate of how many agencies from like surrounding areas have responded?
I'll let Mr. Esway answer that. Just a final note on the evacuation centers. Parrotsville Elementary is still open. Like I said, Centerview Elementary is closed now. All the occupants at Centerview are able to go back to friends or family. We encourage that. Try to get to friends or family first. They're a lot more comfortable than a gymnasium on a cot is. We've got about capacity at Parrotsville for 30 cots. There's 20 to 25 there now. We've cycled approximately 100 different people through Parrotsville Elementary, 20 to 25 still remaining. Staffing is with school system staff right now and a few volunteers. But again, we would encourage friends and family first. We're going to be open as long as we need to be. It would be great to get people more comfortable in an environment that they're comfortable being in.
The short answer to that question is no. We worked through the night and into the morning on compartmentalizing things, staying out very specific taskers, the very specific people who are talented in one way or another. It's hard to calculate that right now. There are rosters that exist, don't get me wrong, but looking at that roster to see who showed up has not been a priority for me right now, but I know that my folks have accountability to that. But to say that there would, I mean, there's got to be, what, 50 different agencies. Where it gets confusing is last night I'm talking to a couple of fellas with our SWAT commander who had been out in the MRAP all day performing high water rescue, and these two guys work for the Forestry Service, and they just got their swiftwater rescue gear and just showed up and hopped on an MRAP with us and started performing rescues. So there's been a lot of that going on, but we've got that very well organized today. Yesterday it was get out there, get them rescued, get them back, and get them safe. This morning we're very organized and very methodical about things, but the after action report will have all those agencies in it.
Thank you, George. Yeah, one more question.
I know you said that of the people who have been rescued